What I'm going to do is a quick little preview for the major, and I'm going to give my percentage chances that I think these teams will make it through this stage, and then I'm going to do the 16 teams from here and tier to make playoffs. But for starters, I want to rip this because this isn't going to be like pick'ems. I just want to say like what I think the odds are. All right, so I feel like if we are looking at all these teams, we just got to get this out of the way. This isn't even a jinx. I believe 100% there is no doubt in my mind Heroic make it through this first stage. Even if it isn't like a 3-0, there's just no possible way they aren't making it through. Listen, I think maybe they could possibly get fluke upsetted in a BO1, but absolutely 0% chance this team does not make it through. They're actual demons. 2025 stats versus top 20 teams, and literally like, how many of these teams are top 20? Complexity? I don't even think Tailoo are top 20. Maybe they are. I don't think any of these other teams are top 20, but even against top 20, Tenier Suns. Xfloud, absolutely Suns. Sun Pius, he's been a little disappointing this year, but he hasn't been bad by any means. And Youngster has played very well at Dallas. I think LNZ's fine. Saw, GOAT coach, actually is going to be fucking impossible for this team to not make it through. I don't even care if it's me jinxing. There's just no fucking way. And then I'm going to put these teams at 90% to make it through. And for me, that's Complexity. And you know what? I think I might only put Complexity in 90%. I don't think I can put anyone but Complexity in 90%. Even though Complexity is going to have to play with Junior, I'm just simply a believer in JT's system on this team. I mean, I believe, honestly, they're better than every single team down here. I don't really give a shit they don't have Halzerk. Number 2, I believe in Grim as a fucking demon. If Grim is playing like how he's been playing all this year, they can easily make it through. And like, I'm saying they can make it through 3-0. I have no doubt they'll make it through 3-1 or 3-2 if they don't make it through 3-0, even with Junior. And third of all, Junior has been bad against tier 1 teams, right? But here's the thing, guys. The only maybe tier 1 team here is Heroic. Junior is bad against tier 1 teams, but he's not playing tier 1 teams. And he's even been a little bad against tier 2 European teams. But guys, a 1.22, I know it's like tier 2, tier 3 NA. I don't think Junior's going to be 1.22 good in this RMR, or I mean in the first stage of this major. That would be irresponsible to say, but I think he will be serviceable enough. He's not going to be complete dog shit 0.8 rating Junior. I think maybe he will be very bad, but honestly, I still think Complexity can make it through because I'm just a believer in JT's system overall. I think Suxi could even pop off without Halzerk there if he needs to step up. We know Grim is a demon. Even JT can frag. I think Nick X will be able to hold his ground against teams like this. I think they're going to be fine. But like the biggest reason is I'm just a believer in the JT system and structure on this team. I think they're too good to not make it through. Also, 1.22 glow up. The Junior's been like this in his entire life. He never glue up. He's always been a demon in tier 2 NA, and he always just struggled against better teams. So this isn't like anything really surprising. This is like the same player we've always known. But I think they will be fine even with the Junior stand-in, to be honest. Then 80%, I talked about this when I did my pick'ems. Out of all of these teams here, if I had to trust in 2 IGLs to get me through stage 1, the 2 IGLs I trust most out of every single IGL here is Stanislaw and Boomich. I know wildcard stock has been down. They have not looked great. We can even look. It's not been great. 0-2 to Legacy. They beat Pain, but like everyone is beating Pain. It's not that surprising. Played Vitality and Spirit, which is just brutal. How they looked bad in both games, but like it's fucking Vitality and Spirit. They got absolutely dicked and bent over by BetBoom. 0-13 on Dust 2. You hate to see it. They got 0-13 by Liquid. I think a little before that. So their stock's a little low, okay? But we gotta remember, this is exactly how they were prior to the Shanghai Major. You look, this tournament, I thought they should win. You know, you saw big FlyQuest. I thought they should have won this, and honestly, they did not look very good. 2-1 by FlyQuest, the goated Alistair tournament. So my stock was low on them going into this. I don't think they looked very good at ESL Pro League either. They go into the RMR, go 3-0. Make it through the opening stage because Stanislaw locked the boys in, okay? Good veteran IGLs seemingly just know how to lock in during majors. I believe Stanislaw is going to do what he did in Shanghai with the boys. So I believe they have an 80% chance to make it through. And BetBoom, it's pretty much the same thing. Their stock is also kind of low right now. If you look at BetBoom, let's look at BetBoom. Lost to Ecstatic fucking twice. Lost to Ruby. Not great, okay? They looked good here and here. Recently, they've kind of fallen off. But then again, they could not Now, this is insane cope, but I wouldn't doubt if they kind of were letting their foot off the gas a little bit because they know they have the Austin Major coming up and they're just treating this as more practice than anything else. They're not really going all 100% out. I'm not trying to make excuses, and Axile's been playing dog shit in these games. If we look at Axile's stats, it's been rough for Axile. This against Ruby and Ecstatic, you do not want to see going into the major, okay? You simply don't want to see that. But on the other side, Magno Jess has been playing very well lately. Zorte has been playing very fucking well lately. Hold on, let's check Zorte. Zorte's been playing pretty goddamn well as of late, okay? A couple off games. Yeah, it is what it is. I think Zorte's playing well. Magno Jess is playing well. I believe in Boomich. So, similar to Wildcard, their stock is a little low, but I believe in Boomich and Stanislav. It's IGL diff, to be real with you. That's about it. We go down to 70%. 70%, give me Bait, give me Tailoo, and honestly, I think that might be it. That's it. I think out of all the tier 2 EU teams here, I'm scared for Bait, okay? I'm very frightened for Bait because Bait is a very inconsistent team, especially on LAN. We've seen them on LAN, and it has not been incredible. If we go to LAN, hold on. They played LAN at this tournament, and they weren't that bad. They came in 3rd, lost to Big. I don't like an L to Big, honestly. I just don't, I don't like it. They beat Chinggis, which is good, but a loss to Big is tough, okay? What really scares me about Bait is, are we going to get this Bait where they look bad against Metasport and against Saw they didn't look horrible but certainly not that good, or are we getting the 5 BO3 wins in a row Bait? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened between these games. They looked significantly better down the stretch than they did in these first two. I don't know if it was nerves, I don't know what it was, but being in a LAN setting for the first stage of a major, they're probably gonna have nerves even if there isn't a crowd. So I'm a little nervous, but I do believe in NPL. I believe in Head Trick, and I believe the rest of the players are serviceable enough to where they should be able to make it through. I don't know, man. Do I really want Bait at 70? Let me think. I guess I'll keep him at 70. I'm a little worried for Bait because they can tend to be inconsistent, but I do think out of a lot of the tier 2 teams, like, they have been looking strong lately, but like it's not impressive to look strong into these teams. Losing to Big, like I said, is a yikes. They did beat BetBoom and Heroic before losing to Heroic, so I mean, it's tough to say, man. I think people are a little high on Bait, but I do think they also have kind of an easy bracket for the most part. So that does boost them up slightly. And then Tailoo, guys, I'm a Tailoo glazer, okay? G, my fucking goat. Mercury, actually, I like a lot of his calls on the T side. I was watching a game against FlyQuest. It isn't perfect by any means, don't get me wrong, but I like it. It's their executes are fairly simple. They don't fake a lot, but I think the individuals on the team and the executes will be good enough to make them go through at least 3-2. And of course, you can't forget about hold on, the greatest goddamn player on the whole team, Jam Young. Guys, Jam Young Deagle clip. Don't forget it. Jam Young is a freak. These guys have been frying all of fucking Asia. They can't beat Lin Vision to save their lives, except for most recently. Beat FlyQuest twice. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll get bit in the ass for this. I believe so heavily in this team, at least to make it through stage 1 compared to these other teams. Then we go down to 60%. And it's almost a coin flip, but I favor them slightly more than other teams to make it through. And that's OG, Namiga. And to be real with you, I think that's it. I like OG, and I think I like OG more than Bait. But if we look at the bracket, let's just look. Bait plays Imperial, they should win that. OG is a tough game against Complexity. They truly do. Even with a Junior, I think Complexity could easily win that. So it's more of just Bait have an easier first game, probably an easier bracket. I like OG a lot. I've glazed Chrisen since he joined OG. I like Nico Dawes. My biggest concern and why I can't place OG higher is I feel like there is not one consistent player on this entire team. People like to glaze Nico Dawes. My biggest issue with Nico Dawes is he's just not consistent. And you can even see that in the MRQ they played. Like, this is a good thing and a bad thing. If you look at their games, game 1, Nico Dawes fucking life game. Absolutely carried the shit out of them to this W. Everyone else was fine. Fiku, disastrous game. It is what it is, okay? You got carried by Nico Dawes, accept it and move on. But OG and Night Pandas, Nico Dawes played awfully. Spook carries. Fiku played well. Chrisen is fairly consistently good. And then you have another good Chrisin performance. So this is a good and a bad thing, right? I think Chrisin can be consistently pretty good, but I wouldn't want him to like always have to pop off. I'm worried for nuked games like this, right? And I'm worried that other players like Fiku, I guess it's not that bad, but like I'm worried Fiku is going to do this or Spook is going to do this. So it's a good thing they all can pop off, but I'm worried that what if they do decide that we're just not going to play Counter-Strike? And then you have Chrisin playing fine, but if he has no help, it's gonna be tough. So I don't know, man. It scares me how inconsistent all the players besides Chrisin are. Buzz is fine for the most part. He's not like groundbreaking. He's fine. I don't know. I just want to see more consistency from these three players, and I'm worried if they just all fall off one game, like that nuked just plays a little bit worse. You know, I don't know. I'm worried. Okay, but I do still like the players on the team. I like that they can pop off, and I think they will sneak through, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they had like a heartbreaking 2-2 game and they just barely lost out like 2-3. I wouldn't put it past them. And then Namiga, guys, Namiga is a very controversial one because people do not like Namiga, and I understand why. You look at their games, lost to Sinners, lost to Ents, lost to Rush B, Navi Jr., Eclot, Gun 5, dear God. Listen, I get that. I personally just think the individuals on this team have such a high fucking ceiling. I understand that they have a low floor, but Zwia was the best fucking player in all of the MRQs. He has pop-off ability. I've seen Xanter pop off and play incredibly well. Lear's fine. You guys are gonna hate this. Risky Bob, I've seen him pop off and have insane games. He can. Khan is like, he's a fine opper. I like Namiga. I don't think they do anything incredibly well. I just think the individuals on this team are very fucking good, and I just like them more than honestly all of the teams below them. I probably like the individuals more than OG, but you know, they're on the same tier for me. So I really like Namiga. I think I'm looking past their recent results and more of just like, I like their ceiling. Okay, the low floor is a little scary, but their ceiling is so good I can't not put them in at least 60%. Now my 50%. In my 50% I have FlyQuest, Metasport, and honestly that's it. I watched FlyQuest play against Tailoo. It was not pretty. It was bad. It was a tough watch. The INS IGL, I didn't mind it at first because I think the team does have more firepower, but if you look at what INS has done since he became the IGL, it's not good. He basically is just putting up Dexter numbers, to be real with you. Past month, a 0.94, it's not great. It's pretty tough. And this is like FaZe in Spirit, but even like without them, it's pretty rough scenes, man. So I don't actually think they did get that much better firepower-wise because INS was their best player, and Netic is fine, but he's not like, he's not gonna really pop off and hard carry you, at least from what I've seen. I do like him as a player, but I think INS, when he was just a pure rifler, probably had a better ceiling, at least playing on the team. Regali can hard carry them, but I just don't like the team, to be honest. The T-sides I watched, they do a lot of contact plays. They just hate executing sights and throwing smokes, and that'll work against tier 2 Australian teams, but you start playing like some of the tier 2 European teams, even the tier 2 North American teams, I don't think constant contact plays are going to really work. When they're on CT side, they just all look like individuals. Like they don't look cohesive. They don't look like there's a lot of team play on their CT sides, which I don't like. They just don't look like a good team. They look like a group of individuals that are okay. Like Regali can pop off, Netic can pop off, INS can pop off, Vexite can pop off, but I don't like having to rely on that to beat teams like this. So I mean, I like, if Regali and Netic decide to just be fucking insane, I could see them making it through. That's why they're 50% coin flip, maybe, but I don't love them to make it through. I like it more than these teams, I guess, but it's not great. In Metasport, I do like Metasport. Metasport's dope, but hear me out on this. I would put them higher if it wasn't for one man. I just struggle to see them going through with a main opper like Loom. I'm sorry to say. I don't think he's great. A 0.97 in tier 2 as the opper, that's tough. Like, it's really fucking tough. That's like my biggest knock on the team. Otherwise, I like Hampus. Like, I think he's fine as a tier 2 IGL. Plopsy's been playing very well this year. I think he's their best player, if you look. Yeah, he's been their best player in 2025. He's been very solid. I like Adam B. I think him and Sus being twin brothers is dope. I haven't really watched much of Adam B's game, but it looks like he's playing fairly well. Like I said, Hampus is fine. Isaac is whatever. He's okay, I guess. But I can't get past Loom, honestly. But I think the players besides Loom and Hampus's system and structure could possibly be good enough for them to maybe go through. But I struggle to see it. it, honestly, with Loom as the main op. I simply do. And then, do I even want to do 40%? Honestly, I'm not even going to do 50%. I'm going to drop this down to 40% and then 30%. I think that's what I'm going to do. And 30%, give me Imperial and give me, man, this is tough. Give me, I don't like any of these teams. I think just Imperial and 30%, to be honest with you. The thing with Imperial is they're kind of like, so forget the tier 1 Brazilian teams. I mean, is MIBR really tier 1? No. Forget MIBR, forget Pain, forget Furia for a second. And Imperial are kind of like the FlyQuest of South America, okay? They, like, look clearly too good for tier 2 South America. Tough loss to Audic. Don't get me wrong, but like normally they cook in tier 2 South America. They just can't really do jack shit against tier 1 ever in like any tier 1 tournaments. The last one they played was Blast Open Lisbon, and I'm assuming they came out in last place. Yes, tied in last place. And what I watched, I did not like. I think they played G2. They played G2 first game. Watching Vinny call T-sides is like, you're ripping my fingernails off, bro. I can't stand it. His T-side calling is abysmal. I don't like this team. And now, these are tier 2 teams, but they're not really tier 2 South America teams, okay? These are the best tier 2 teams from around the world for the most part. I just don't really believe in them. I think Try is good. Try is an animal. I think Descenti's been playing very well this year, but I just don't believe in Vinny. Shay, I thought was a good pickup. He's kind of been awful, honestly, since he joined the team. And, like, no way's fine. He's still young, so, like, that's good, but I just don't really like Imperial at all to go through, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 1-3, you know, maybe 2-3, could maybe. 30% means they can go through, but I don't love it. Then you go down to 20%. 20% for me is going to have to be Lin Vision, Legacy, and NRG. It's tough, okay? Because, I'll put Fluxo in 20%. I guess you're right. My 20% is Lin Vision, Legacy, NRG, and Fluxo. I personally do not like Fluxo going into this at all. The main issue I have with Fluxo is I don't like Imperial, and they just can't beat Imperial to save their lives. You know what I'm saying? So they're good in tier 2 South America, but I'm just not moved by that, even in the slightest. There's no part of me is moved by being good in tier 2 South America. Okay, you know what I'm saying? If I'm this low on Imperial, like, how can I be high in Fluxo? I don't mind art, but for the most part, I just don't think their game's gonna translate really well to playing against all of these teams. I don't really think their individuals are that good. Like, if we look at their team, they're all going to be good in tier 2 South America, but I don't know, man. I just don't really see it. Zevi is their opper. They have Kai, Pararush, or MLH Zin. Personally, in my pick'ems, I have them going 0-3. I know that they beat Legacy more often than not. If we look at their games against Legacy, they 2-0'd Legacy here. They looked much better than Legacy, but I feel like I like Legacy's game more than I like Fluxo's game when translated to other teams. I don't know if there's any backing behind that at all. It's just my opinion. You can disagree. I'm not going to say you're wrong because I don't even know if I'm right, but like I feel like I like Legacy more against other teams, but the head-to-head, I probably would take Fluxo. It's just one of those situations, you know? I feel like there's a couple of teams where it's like that. Like, you put them head-to-head, one team's going to win, but I think Legacy matches up better against most of these other teams. I still don't think they're going to make it through. Legacy just doesn't seem like that good of a team. They did nearly beat 3D Max at Dallas, but I'm not really that moved by that, to be honest. And then you move on to NRG. People have NRG in their 0-3 picks, and I don't blame them, to be honest. I think NRG is kind of similar to Fluxo in where, like, they're pretty solid in tier 2 North America, but, like, just so fucking bad against anyone else. 4 rounds. Okay, I understand it's Aurora. 4 rounds on both of these maps is brutal, man. What are we doing? Against Falcons, 6 rounds and 5 rounds. They just didn't even look competitive, even slightly. Lost to Legacy in this. Now, the one redeeming part of NRG is this. They played NIP incredibly close at Frag, which is a LAN. And I think NIP is actually a fairly good team. We saw in Astana what they can do. They made playoffs. So this gives me hope, okay? Like, they barely lost this last map. So I don't think NRG is that bad. It's just the people are down on them because of these games. Like, these games were fucking tough, don't get me wrong. But this gives me hope. Even still, I just haven't seen enough to move them above 20%. And if I did, it would just be NA bias, to be honest with you. I want to see them make it through. I just don't believe in them. I think the players on the team are okay. I like Hexton George quite a bit. Bro started off incredibly good on this team, but I think in 2025 he's been kind of meh. Okay, never mind. A 1.17. I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess I was just thinking about this. And so in tier 2 NA, Bro has been very fucking good. But when I watched these games, he was okay. They're getting blown out, so it's like, I guess you can't put that against him too much. So I mean, I like 3 of their players. I think Nitro, you know, a couple of years too late for that, sadly. I think OC is good in tier 2 NA. I don't think it really translates at all to like tier 1, tier 1.5. So I think they're okay, but they got to stay in 20%. They could make it through, you know, at 20%, it's possible you make it through, but I just think all these teams above them are better, sadly. And Lin Vision, I might be extra harsh on Lin Vision, because I've been a Lin Vision believer for years, but they just consistently let me down. Not really close against G2, not really close against Furia. Like, I get these teams are significantly better than the teams you're going to be playing here, but like, kind of same thing with the NRG. Like, you want it at least to be competitive. They recently lost to Tailoo. Map 1 was close, map 2, not really at all. I just think I've seen Lin Vision playing in these tournaments. I've seen them playing in majors, and it just never translates. They, year after year, dominate in Asia, and it just never translates. And, like, I've seen it translate for Tailoo. I know it was ESL Pro League. I just haven't seen it translate for Lin Vision, and I've had enough of believing in them. Westmel and IGL, meh. Zacher and Starry are insane. They could possibly pop off. And honestly, like, it's kind of similar to FlyQuest, I guess, where, like, in FlyQuest, if Regali and Netic pop off, maybe they can. It's the same thing here. Zacher and Starry are both incredibly good, so maybe they pop off and could carry them through. I'm done believing in Lin Vision, man. Like, they've let me down year after year, so I gotta put them in 20. And Chinggis Warriors, I'm sorry to say, but here, let me change these. Hold on. I'm sorry to say, Chinggis, but they're simply 10%. Last year, I argued that Rare Atom would not go 0-3, so I didn't put them in my 0-3, and somehow they won an 0-2 game against Fnatic. The thing about that, why I believed in Rare Atom, is they had a fluky play style. They all had incredibly sharp aim, and they played a very aggressive style that it looked like they could upset like one of the better teams. So I just didn't want to put them down in 0-3. Plus it was in Shanghai. It was a home game for them. But with Chinggis Warriors, I don't see any redeemable qualities similar to Rare Atom. They're like okay, very basic strategies. Like, they have okay aim, but it's not enough to make me think they're gonna beat literally any of these teams here. I think it doesn't fucking matter who they play. Maybe they could upset fucking Fluxo, okay? But I don't think they beat any of these teams. I just don't see a universe where they do. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta put them in 10%. Maybe it'll bite me in the ass and they'll have a generational run. I just don't see it, bro. I just don't see it. I'm sorry to say, you know. So that's it for this. Now, if we look at stage 2, since I'm so confident, I'll add Heroic in, but I'm going to do all of these teams and give the odds I think that they make the playoffs. And, you know, it might be a little controversial. We'll fucking see, man. So let me make a new tier list real quick. I'll keep that one there. Now, this is going to be odds that they make the playoffs. It's a little whack because obviously teams in group stage 3 are going to have a higher chance than teams in group stage 2. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm still just going to rip it because it's the easiest thing to do. So, at 100%, I have quite a few teams. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have Vitality. Even though they didn't play great and they're in stage 2, I don't see a fucking universe where Falcons does not make it in the playoffs. Along with that, Mouse, and along with that, Spirit. Okay, the top 4 teams in the world, I will be I'm willing to be bold here, like, and say 100% for all 4 of these teams. The gap between these 4 teams and literally everyone else is like astronomical at this current moment. I know there's BO1s that they could maybe get fluke upsetted. I just don't believe it. I know Falcons didn't look great at Dallas, but then they locked in the playoffs against Vitality and damn near beat them. So, you know. Now, in 90% teams that will make the playoffs, give me Mongols, give me Aurora. This is basically just the top 6 teams in the world. I don't think there's anything bold about this, literally at all. But Mongols are insane in the group stage. Aurora have made every fucking group stage this year. It's just when they get into the playoffs, things start to get rough. Senzu looked good against Aurora and Dallas, but then the next game against Mouse, he was their second worst player. So Senzu playoff issues are still there. Aurora, Wikadia, it looks like has fixed his playoff choking issues mostly, but they still like don't look great in the playoffs. But I'm like fairly confident they will make the playoffs at the very least. And then we start going down the board a little bit. In 80%, you guys can call me a freak twerp, idiot moron. Bias, I'm putting Liquid. I think Liquid is without a doubt the 7th or 8th best team in the world. And unless they get absolutely fucked with their bracket in stage 3, I just don't see. I think they're going to make it through. To back this statement up, look at Liquid since Suhei has joined. They beat FaZe, lose to Mouse, lose to Aurora, beat Na'Vi, beat MIBR, lose to Mongols, lose to Vitality, beat VP. This was right when Suhei joined. They only lose to teams better than them, and they consistently beat teams that are worse than them, okay? And if you think that's the case, they fit perfectly into the number 7 slot in the world. Because, like, Mongols is 5, in my opinion. Lose to Vitality, the best team. Lose to Mouse, probably the 3rd team. Aurora, the 6th team. And then they beat FaZe, beat Navi, beat MIBR, beat VP. I think they slot nicely into the 7th spot in the world. And I think they're good enough to beat the teams below them and make it into the playoffs, okay? I believe in the Suhei system. I believe in Twist being a fucking demon. Nerds is inconsistent. I don't care. I still think Nerds, when he is good, is so fucking good. NAF redemption arc, this major is going to be generational, okay? I saw a post where Liquid said maybe they would kick him. Or, well, he said Liquid would have to make decisions if things went bad at the major and he didn't play well. Guys, the NAF 1.3 redemption arc this major is going to hit like fucking crack, okay? I'm a Liquid believer. I think they have an 80% chance to make playoffs. I think that's valid. And can I hit you guys with another curveball real quick? Oof, do I do it? I really want to do it. I really want to fucking do it, but I'm not going to. At 70%, give me FaZe. I wanted to put FaZe in 80. Here's the deal. The thing with FaZe is they look not great, okay? But how many times have we doubted FaZe and then they lock the fuck in majors? Approximately 2 majors in a row. Listen, I'm an entertainment storylines guy. The most cinema thing, in my opinion, would be for FaZe to make the playoffs. The crowd is going to be going fucking insane with Simple standing and they have a Liege. FaZe, the goated North American org, like, it is such a cinema storyline for Austin if FaZe make the playoffs, okay? But even when we look past, like, the crazy storyline of Simple making it all the way to the playoffs, maybe, after not playing for 2 straight years, this team just locks the fuck in during majors, okay? You have Rain, big game player. Kerrigan, well, I don't know how. They just lock in during majors. It doesn't matter if they have no maps that they can properly play. It doesn't fucking matter. They just lock in. Elige has been good, but they've looked a little dysfunctional since he joined. Frozen can be fucking incredible. And imagine if Simple hits that peak. He's not going to hit his prime Simple peak, but imagine if he can hit like 80%. Imagine if he can look like how he looked against BC Game, but against actual good teams and not drop 0.85 ratings like he did against Heroic. Imagine we get BC Game Simple against real teams instead of Heroic Simple against real teams. Consider this. All I'm saying is I can't doubt FaZe, okay? I wish I could. I used to be a FaZe hater. I'm a FaZe lover now. So call it bias, call it whatever you want. I'm forced to believe in them, okay? I can't help myself. Then, there's only so many spots in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying, guys? If this were to happen, this is 6, 7, 8. This is it. So the odds go way down. 30%. Give me Navi, and honestly, give me Heroic. These two teams are like complete fucking opposites, I feel like. Navi, goated giant org, that is currently on the downswing. Heroic constantly rebuilds teams out of fucking nowhere, and they're currently on the upswing because they just looked absolutely gas at Dallas, okay? My worries are Heroic is still a very young team. I think they're, like, they can compete with a lot of these teams up here, but I think going all the way from stage 1 all the way to the major playoffs is incredibly tough. If they started in stage 2, I would think I'd give them a higher chance, but starting all the way back here is tough. And I actually looked into this. At the last 2 majors, the teams that made the playoffs, it was 6 from stage 3 and 2 from stage 2. In both of the past 2 majors, not a single team further than that has made it. And that also could be because we didn't have a stage 1, now that I realize. But I digress, okay? Ignore that. All I'm saying is the past 2 majors, 6 teams out of the closest group to the playoffs have made it, and then 2 other teams. So in this case, it would be what? Falcons are in stage 2 and FaZe are in stage 2. So then it would still be 6 teams from stage 3 that would make the playoffs. I love Heroic. I just think playoffs is a little much for this young team. I think Tanir's a beast. I think xFloud can pop off. I love them. Saw as a goated coach. I think playoffs is a little much. But if they did make it, it would be cinema. And Navi, I can't rule out Navi not making playoffs because Navi's still a good team. As much as it's easy to shit on them, Navi is still a good team, okay? Aurora didn't look great. They beat Aurora. They played Mongols incredibly close. Both of these maps were 13-11. They lose to Astralis. Yeah, they've been dog shit in the playoffs all year, okay? You know what I'm saying? They lost to Falcons, but they did take a map and then lost 13-11. So, like, they can play these really good teams close, and they're still good. Like, they beat Mongols here. they're still a good team. They're not an awful team. I just think the mental on the team is so fucking like the mental on the team is so bad, bro. So I don't like the vibes. Okay, I don't like the vibes. I don't like anything that's really going on with this team right now. But it would be irresponsible of me to say like they have no chance to make the playoffs, because I could see it happening. And they are starting in stage 3, which is a huge fucking bonus. Like all they have to do is simply win 3 games and they're in the playoffs. So I could see it. I just don't like this team right now. The vibes are bad. The players have not been playing very well, especially in the playoffs, which I guess doesn't really matter for this because they're not in the playoffs yet. So I don't love what I've been seeing from Navi, but they have a chance. Okay, they have a chance. And down here, I think I'll do 20%. And I'll throw in, you guys aren't going to like this. Give me G2, give me Furia, give me VP. G2, they're kind of weird, bro, because they actually really surprised me at Dallas. They were 1 game away from making the playoffs, but they didn't do anything like that crazy impressive. They beat Lin Vision in 3D Max and lost to Mongols in Gamer Legion. So this new team without Nico or Monesi seems fine. Like they're consistently a good team, but in order to make playoffs, they're gonna have to be better than all of these teams, and I just don't see it. I don't see a world in where they are better than all of these teams up here, unless they get a crazy easy like fluke bracket. I don't see them beating any of these teams, to be honest with you. Maybe in a BO1 they could fluke because Heavy God is a fucking demon, Mobs is a demon, maybe they pop off. I could see a Heavy God Mobs carry, to a couple wins, but 3 wins is a lot, man. 3 wins is a lot to make playoffs. I just don't know if I see it. I'm not really an overall believer. Hades has been fine. He hasn't been good on the team. We can pull up his stats on G2. A 1.03. Like, that's serviceable, but it's not, you're not really elevating the team at all. Against Mongols, he was really bad. So it's, what about top 20? It stays the same. So he's been serviceable. I just think it's going to be tough for this team to make the playoffs. And then Furia, honestly, I think out of all of these teams down here, I think Furia has the best chance out of G2, them, and VP, because I really like what they're doing, man. They're actually exciting. I just think going from stage 2 all the way to playoffs is going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. But I like that they have Moladoy on the team now. Moladoy looks very exciting. He's not like super consistent, but he's incredibly young and just joined the team, so like you can't really knock him for that. But his good games are fucking gas, man. Like when he's on, he's fun to watch. You have Case Harado, who's like always been good even in the most shit Furia teams. Fallen, I think honestly has been fine. He was a lot better in Astana than he was in Dallas, but I think as a rifling anchor, he's been solid for the most part. Like, he hasn't been like that bad. I think his calls on T side are honestly like fairly solid. And now that he isn't opping, I don't think he's really holding them back at all. I think he's fine as a rifling in-game leader. Yuri is like fairly consistent. I think he's fine. My real worry with Furia is Yakinder. I said it when he was on Liquid, man. If we can just get Yakinder, that is a little bit better, man. I actually think this team might be able to go on a run, but at Dallas, he was really fucking bad, man. He was really bad. And that's going to be the quality of teams that he plays at the major. It is the quality of teams he played in Dallas. I know he looked pretty good in Astana. You're going to be playing better teams at this major, bro. Like, all of these teams, I don't see Yakinder playing well against them, to be honest with you. So it's hard for me to really truly believe in them, but I do honestly like what Fury is doing, and I kind of enjoy watching them now, which is better than what they were before. In VP, the only possible way VP make playoffs is if by some miracle, every player on this team just goes nuclear and pops the fuck off. I saw that electronic screaming clip. I was done, bro. I hopped off the VP train. I don't want my IGL to be screaming like that at my players, bro. But it's just awful. Like, he's not even, I understand, like, maybe personalities are different in Eastern Europe and Russia, but like, if I was playing on this team, that shit would just piss me off. Like, buddy, you're dropping 0.8 ratings screaming at me because I didn't plant the bomb in the right place. All you're doing is bringing the vibes down on this team. You're not helping anyone. Icy, I thought was such a good addition, but he's looked so bad in this team. I think Electronic has scared the pants off him, because he is one of the most pussy-ass bitch oppers I've ever watched play this game on VP, which is so upsetting because he was so good on Amcall and honestly the latter part of Cloud9. He looked so good. I don't know what the fuck Electronic did to him. He ruined him. Flint has been like better since this new team, but that's it. Like, Flamus has been incredibly disappointing. I don't think it's Flamus's fault. I think if you put Flamus in the right system and give him a good leader, he can be so fucking impressive. He can be so good. This is just a bad team, a bad system, a bad structure. Fame is whatever. He'll consistently post like a 1.0 rating ish. He's fine, I guess. I'm pretty low on this team, but the players are prestigious enough to where maybe in a insane universe they could fluke their way to the playoffs. Like Electronic Legendary, Flit major winner, Fame major winner. It's so maybe, but I don't like their chances. If these guys weren't so prestigious and hadn't all won majors, they'd have like a 0% chance. So that's the only thing pushing them forward. And it down at 10%. I have 3D Max, MIBR, Pain, and M80. Honestly, here, let me change these colors real quick. Dude, I wish I could put 3D Max higher. I've been a Maka Glazer for most of this year. The past month, 3D Max have looked fucking atrocious. I watched them play maybe the worst round I've literally ever fucking seen from a tier 1 team against Legacy at Dallas, where they threw a 2v5 on Overtime Inferno match point. I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. Recently, they've been bad, man. They've been really fucking bad. They beat Big at Melbourne. Who can't beat Big? Apparently Bait, okay? You know what I'm saying? Lost to a FaZe that's not in form. Lost to Gamer Legion 0-2. They look good in Bucharest. Since they got sunned by FaZe in the playoffs, dude, oh my god. Since they lost to FaZe in this brutal playoff game, they have been broken. They've looked awful at Melbourne. They looked awful at Dallas. They've looked so bad. If it was after Bucharest, I'd probably honestly give them like a 30 to 40% chance. I put them up here with Navi and Heroic, but they've just looked so dog shit in the past month. I don't see it happening. I don't really rate anyone on the team besides Maka. If we go to their stats, the past month, Maka's good and he's calling. Otherwise, it's a whole lot of bad. And the most upsetting part is Body, because Body was supposed to be the second best player on this team. He's, secondary calling. He mechanically looked very good when he joined. Recently, he's been atrocious. So if Body can't play well, I don't like Gravity. Personally, he's still young. He has potential, I guess. I've never seen him really do anything besides in one-off maps. He looked good at Astana, or not Astana. I think it was Bucharest we looked at. Hold on, let me check. Melbourne. Oh no, yeah, it was Bucharest. He looked good at Bucharest in the group stage, but when they got blown out in the playoffs, it's tough. It's tough for me to rate this team at all. It's basically like a better version of Bait with how NPL is the caller and the fragger. That's kind of Maka, except no one else is just helping at all. So I don't love them, honestly. Maybe they can fluke their way through if they lock in and play like they did, earlier this year, but recently they've looked fucking bad. MIBR always seem to surprise me and make runs. I never think of MIBR doing anything, and then all of a sudden they just win BO3s that I never expect them to, and they just get close to playoffs. They made playoffs at Astana, which was good. This was a good run. They beat G2 with a coach, beat Pain, who everyone has been beating, and beat VP. That's still fairly impressive, even though G2 did have a coach. They kind of got stunned by Furia, but they take a map off Navi, took a map off Vitality somehow. Beat Tailoo, Furia, and Namiga. That's not that impressive. MIBR's okay. I just don't think they're good enough to beat any of these teams above them. So I just don't know how the fuck they're gonna make playoffs then. And Pain, dude, in my opinion, I thought Pain should be the best team in Brazil for fucking months and months and months. I love the Pain roster, but they have been so bad this year, bro. How have they been so dog shit? Explain to me. I don't know. I understand the team is new. Maybe Big Uzera can make things work. I don't know, man. I don't love what I've seen. I know it's a new roster, but even still, they've just looked kind of dysfunctional. They were on almost a 16-game losing streak if it wasn't for the Huns, I think it was. Or no, it was Ho2. Sorry, not the Huns. Yeah, it was Ho2. Otherwise, it was... I know they've had their coach standing in, they've had stand-in stuff happening. I get all of that. Even when they played with their full roster, I haven't loved it. Maybe they'll come out looking better with more time off and more practice. Who's to say? And M80, I liked M80 at the end of last year, but recently they have looked fucking rough. Their Astana run was disgusting. Losing to G2 with a coach, that should be unforgivable, man. They're pretty good in tier 2 NA, but they haven't really looked good all year. When you put the top 20 filter on, it's not a good look, man. In 2025, they can farm tier 2 NA. You put them up against real teams, it's goddamn over. It's just simply over. And they're gonna be playing top 20 teams here. All of these teams are top 20 teams for the most part. I don't know about MIBR and Pain. They might be top 20, they might not be. I don't know, but all these teams are top 20. We're bringing this to the table. I don't like what I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. So I just don't see a universe unless somehow the power of Austin and the power of NA can push them forward. They're, by the grace of God, bro, they're gonna need an absolute miracle to make the playoffs. I like them. I like that they're a solid NA team. They just can't play top 20. NA FlyQuest. It's just, I just don't see a world where they make the playoffs. And I think that's honestly it for all of this. So playoff chances, stage 1 chances. Maybe I'll make another one of these after stage 2 starts and we know all the teams, I would be open to that. But yeah, I think that's it, fellas.